Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sadiko Sasi, with the College Edi Victor, Idewa Ayu Eka Yuliani, Utin Kasma, Diana Fitriani, and Benedicta Bunyi. Today, I will present our research with the topic Effect of IT Service Management on e-learning readiness through the COVID model. The majority of private universities are prone to income gaps and incompletely realize contribution and effect of IT service management on e-learning readiness. Emphasizing online learning processes and methods has been the main side of this readiness. Distributing knowledge through electronic media, regardless of time and location, therefore become existing limitation. Besides constraints in forms of lack of knowledge about value and access of IT services, errors in planning IT service procedure, low IT infrastructure investment, unresponsiveness of providing standardized IT services, less consistent learning mechanism, and aggravated IT service management exist and make most private universities account gaps and fail to completely implement e-learning. It is a rarity or a sign to have an explicit statement that e-learning readiness is influenced by IT service management due to the assumption that providing IT services in relation to this readiness is simple. So far, the focus of such readiness has only been on infrastructure capabilities and readiness of IT application performance. The formulation of the risk problem is the rings of legation, which to ensure the achievement of e-learning readiness cannot be separate from the direct or indirect effect of exogenous construct by applying the outfit model. True or not, with the endogenous construct by IT service management at private universities in West Kalimantan. To confirm and ascertain the extent to which the construct of IT service management has an impact and has a positive influence on e-learning readiness. The population was private universities with study programs on informatics and computing in West Kalimantan. This service supplied a mixed method, a convergent regulation model, and explanatory design through follow-up description. 298 respondents in city series selected through a propulsive sampling technique. All data were collected and analyzed using the same POS analysis tool on a legal scale. This is our risk model, and we can see that three constructs of the outfit model, the decision involved by the human by technology, was the greatest success determinant of e-learning readiness because the highest path of vision in other words, technology is not only a success factor since the standard infrastructure is no longer a problem of some user of the e-learning system. In the past significant test, you can see that the highest path coefficient was in the form that effect of IT service management on e-learning readiness with a value 0.775, reflecting that the formula greatly influenced the smooth implementation of this readiness of universities. The result of the hypothesis test showed that the results are not significant. This condition represents in terms of system use and user satisfaction. It is not always possible to increase e-learning readiness. These findings indicate that using e-learning with a learning management system platform is not always able to provide quality learning patterns. In terms of student and instructor or lecturer, not all of them have the ability and expertise to apply this feature properly, so that the satisfaction that is felt is only limited to learning material that have been conveyed. Based on the result of testing the research hypothesis, where hypothesis 1 is not proven, this study represents a different result from findings of previous studies, which have shown a significant result. Hence, the more student and instructor or lecturer could use the system well and felt satisfied, the more decreasing the interest of motivation to learn online work. Referring to the result of 5 performance, it is known that on average, IT service management has a very important impact. IT service must operate smoothly, and net support and delivery must be appropriate to the content of e-learning readiness. The capability and reliability of effective IT service management is a strategic assess to increase the continuity of e-learning readiness. These findings further emphasize the research novelty that importance of IT service management for successful implementation of e-learning readiness is accepted. This information was, however, not given in previous studies. This study was limited to construct a relationship to determine and confirm effect of IT service management on e-learning readiness without further analysis and interpretation of each indicator, including five coefficient of construct. IT service management has an important role and cannot be ignored in terms of construct with Hobbit model approach in implementing e-learning readiness. Mapping IT service management must align with the capabilities and support of third parties delivering content from IT service application. The research can be continued to have more specific exploration in all universities in West Kalimantan and other provinces. In-depth, confirmatory analysis of indicators with direct and indirect effect so that the result become more comprehensive. Thank you. These are all my presentation.